Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button. Also, don't forget to click on the notification bell, and make sure you click all so you get notifications of all videos that I post here. And I'm gonna get into this article by Blake Masters, who sound more like a darn comic book racist character. In this article, it goes by, I think it's from AZ Central, where the article is coming from. Blake Masters blamed black people for gun violence, but remember, he's not a racist. That's the title of the article, and to me, it is a well-titled article. And this is what it goes into. Article leads into. At long last, we have an answer to the not so puzzled question of why America suffers from an epidemic of gun violence. While every morning there is a sad, stunning roll call of new victims, and every few weeks or months there is a massacre in a church or a shopping center or a movie theater. Now, notice most of all them places is mostly where white people go out to shoot people. Movie theater, that was with that Joker incident that happened. Remember the whole thing when that guy painted his hair orange and he tried to compare him to the Joker, and everybody started coming, all the pop culture fanatics came out and starting to defending it. Shopping mall, white people shoot up shopping malls. They talk about church. White people know to shoot and burn churches up. Even an Asian woman tried to burn down a church. Burn churches is something that black people don't do. Hell, even Latinos won't burn out a damn church. They know better. Those are two group of people you would never see burn down a church. Blacks and Latinos. I don't like using those two in the same sentence because we're two different people. But one they buy though, those two groups you don't really see burn down church unless it's the white Latinos, El Blancos. But the other ones that don't, especially black. Sorry about that. Especially black people. We ain't gonna burn down the damn church. You freaking nuts. No matter how much religion stuff we don't really like, or we could be anti-religion, we ain't gonna burn down the damn church. Oh yeah, it said also where every morning there's a sad, stunning roll call of new victims, and every few weeks or month there's a massacre in a church or a shopping center or a movie theater or a classroom. In classroom, okay, now let's go into the other thing with classroom, because it said or a classroom. Columbine massacre, the first one that happened in the classroom. The recent few posters that we seen with white kids, they were shooting up classrooms. Black people don't shoot up classrooms. Nobody else shoot up classrooms, but white kids. And there's another incident in Texas where there was a Asian kid that was half Asian, half white, who shot up a classroom. Then you had this new one where he supposed to be like, no, a white Latino, he shot up a classroom. And all this thing for them saying that they was bullied or they didn't fit in. Minor issues that you grow out of, because you're not gonna fit in wherever you go at. Now back in the article, it's not the guns we are told, and it's not the fact that a troubled teen can legally buy a AR-15 and a large capacity of magazine. It's not the guns that we are told, and it's not the fact that a troubled teen can legally buy a AR-15 and a large capacity of magazines to boost the body count. It is clearly not the politician who say any personal, and it's clearly not the politician who see any proposal to at least try to cut down the occurrence on an assault on their God-given, the Second Amendment right to own a bazooka. Nope, it's black people. I don't see how it's us. It's gangs. Very often, black people. We do have a gun violence problem in this country, and it's gang violence. Blake Masters explained on the Jeffers also show, whatever kind of show it is that happened that came out in April. I don't know, because I don't watch the cornball TV show. It's gangs. It's people in Chicago. Oh, Chicago. It's Chicago again. It's St. Louis shooting each other. That very often, black people, frankly, and the Democrats don't want to do anything about it. Dude, man. You look at the news, there's white people shooting each other. I mean, seriously, you research most of the crime reports are more white kids shooting jail. White people buy gangster rap more than anybody else. And also, gangster rap does not even really cause black people to shoot each other. It make black people make stupid music. And a lot of that rap music is actually written by white people. Like called the ghostwriter. Eminem wrote some of that stuff himself. And as a white woman who go around, she writes a lot of that lyrics herself. She's a songwriter. She writes herself a lot of the music written by them. And Chicago is not, I mean, gang violence in Chicago going on. St. Louis, no, it's not. Glad to my jack, it's been a lot of white people shooting each other. Back to this crap again. But because what? Democrats enjoy seeing black people get shot. As Jerome met Donald Trump, he handpicked candidate to represent you in the United States Senate. Master comment report on Saturday by the Daily Beast came just weeks before an 18-year-old white supremacist traveled to a prominent black neighborhood in Buffalo, New York, where he proceeded to gun down 13 grocery shoppers aged 20 to 86. 10 people died on the Saturday afternoon, all of them black. Okay, I want somebody, y'all just heard what I said, right? This white supremacist team, and they clearly spelled it out. They clearly tell you that 18-year-old white supremacist teen travels. They say right there, 18-year-old white supremacist travels to a prominent black neighborhood in Buffalo. That's it right there. And he gunned down nothing but black people. He lived in an all-white community. Why would he have to drive to a black community and shoot black people? There was nobody bothering him. There was no reason for him to be there. He went there on his own free will. Now, it's amazing how black people are the victims of everything, but then we're the cause of our own victimhood. Like, the only time a person can be caused their own victimhood if you stay in an abusive relationship instead of leaving it. And even then, it's hard to even call them, a person caused their own victimhood. It's hard to even say about a person in an abusive relationship too, because you put sticking in a relationship, especially a marriage, which is still a relationship for better or for worse. So it's always is that to blame the victim because they're the black card. Okay, here's the card you're playing. Blame the victim because they're black. Master went on in that podcast interview to explain that Democrats did not like the Second Amendment because it frankly blocks a lot of their plans for us. Master would not talk to me to explain those plans. Perhaps he was referring to his previous comment to endorse the great replacement theory, so popular with white supremacists who run around worrying about a plot to replace white Americans with non-white people. Last time I checked, white guys and Asian women interracial married by thousands, so much where it's just common. And same with Spanish women, they will marry white men at a drop of a hat. You have a lot of biracial Asian babies that they're white and Asian, so they're Eurasian. So what the hell are you talking about? And a lot of the biracial Asian girls, they marry white guys. So like, what the freaking? And then you got white supremacists who are marrying black women and fathering children with them. Thomas Jefferson did that. He raped Sarah Hillary repeatedly. And got some of the Proud Boys founders and members who have black wives. What the freaking... Man, I keep telling people. These fool white supremacists are freaking nuts. Obviously, the Democrats, they hope to just change it's obvious. The Democrats, they hope to just change the dynamics. It's obvious. The Democrat, they just want the Democrats. It's opposite. The Democrat, they just hope to change the demographic of our country. He told the Patriot Edition podcast in April. They hope to import an entity entirely new. They hope to import an entirely new electoral, then they call you racist and a bigot. Dude, you are racist and a bigot. Like, how you gonna blame black people for being shot? How did, dude? Do y'all see the stupidity of this guy? It's so stupid. He got so much stupidity where it's hard for me to even read this. Just even read this article because how dumb he sound, man. It feel like I'm stumbling. It feel like I'm reading something wrong. Cause this fool that blame black people and claims that that white people are being erased. I mean, white people themselves are immigrants to the country. It's not even exactly their country. Their ancestors colonized this country and wiped out their indigenous people almost. Just about. Then whitewash history. And then now they trying to say that, this is our country. No, this is a country you stole from the indigenous people. Your country is in Europe somewhere. And matter of fact, you didn't really build this country. You enslaved other people, imported them over here, and then had them to build a country for you. And it's amazing, same people that talk about people being imported illegal immigrants, and they are illegal immigrants. They are also illegal immigrants themselves through their lineage. And on top of that, the same people who talk about, bringing people over here being replaced. Biden is white. He bring a whole bunch of Ukrainians and Afghanistans over here who mostly look white. And the Haitians who are black are getting deported. Make that make sense. Oh, as long as you look white, you can come into this country. You talking about a non-white class? Dude, y'all trying to do singing hip hop. You trying to make hip hop into a non-black thing. If you want to talk about replacement, you trying to replace all black culture with non-blacks. And also on top of that, y'all have low birth rates according to your own database and research. Well, I tell you. Well, back into the article. Master blamed the media in a statement. Perhaps they're noticing your disturbing tendency to solve fear and blame a particular race of people rather than confronting the undeniable fact that American gun violence problem extends further beyond the confines of Chicago and St. Louis, which they do. I mean, they in suburban America. Master would not consent. Master would not consent to an interview to walk about his comment. Master would not consent to an interview to talk about his comment. Master would not consent to an interview to talk about his comments or his ideals for how to reduce gun violence in America. Instead, he went into defaulting more. He went into default mode and sent me a statement bashing the media that's always a crowd. That's always a power phase. That's always a coward's phaser. That's always a coward's pleaser. That's always a crowd pleaser. And of course, a way to avoid having to answer the questions. The media backlash said it's all. The media backlash said it's all. Master said in a written statement sent by his campaign, journalists only cover shootings where their shooters and victims fit a certain profile. But most victims of gun murder in America are black men, and most predatory.
Perpetrators.
And most perpetrators of gun murders in America are black men. I'm sorry, but Pookie and Ray Ray, Mike, John, Tyrone having a shootout. No, that's not true. Cause you go back to my video, look at it. There was some Asian gang violence back in 2019. I want to say that's on my channel that I did a video of. You had Asian gangs shooting up other Asian gangs. That was in LA. Yeah, one news article coming from, from the postgazette.com, there's an Asian gang that shot each other up. I think it was the Mongolian boy. Yeah, it was like the Mongolian boy shot some so-called Asian Crip. I think that should have been back in 2019. I read an article on my channel, and that was them. Then it was another so-called Asian rapper who had all these guns, AR-15. This is like back way before the pandemic really hit, like 2017. He got arrested for having guns and cocaine. Oh, this is an Asian community. If you go on my channel, there's a lot of Asian gang violence that go on and Asian gun shooting. Even white community got a lot of gun shooting in well-to-do suburbs. And actually, more victims, more perpetrators are black. And also, how many black people own guns in America? Most black men have felonies. So how can they mostly own guns and they have felonies? He don't even answer there in the article. He just runs his mouth. This is called playing the race card. They talk about black people play race card. No, we talk about facts about racism. This is playing the race card. He doesn't go into it. The whole race card thing started with white supremacy. Playing the race card is their tool, their weapon, not black people's own. There are simple facts. Go look up the FBI crime stats and the CDC cause of death data where you still can. But since this is a political
Incorrect.
But since this is a political incorrect to it, point out the media refuse to acknowledge it and scream racism anytime someone says the truth. Meanwhile, there is an epidemic of gun violence that killing young black men in America. I think that's a huge problem, and unlike the Democrats, I actually want to solve it. But okay, he wants to solve it. Okay, dude, then you should pay reparations then. That would solve a lot of problems in black communities, because a lot of black communities are undermined and poor because y'all put foreign people in our communities. You let the Koreans take over the black hair care industry and take that away from black people, so we have no economic value. You keep shoving white people into hip hop, pushing black people out of furthermore jobs. Then on top of that, you don't grant us business grants, loans, or whatever we can have. Anytime we create an organization to help out black people, it either run by gays, whites, Jews, preferably not blacks, and no organization wants to give black people money to start business. And you do donate money to black people, get back. There's no way for black people to start businesses. And all the loans you do apply for African Americans, they go to black women, gays, lesbians, Mexicans, Latinos, Asians. Trust me, I'm a black man. I try applying for loans. I ain't try to call for one. Oh, we do not give out start loans, but it's a business you want to buy, we could do that for you. You see what I mean? And he up there playing the race card, talking about screaming racism. Dude, you talking about gun violence. How is these white kids going around shooting up black people is the cause of it? This white guy went and shot black people. He got proof of it. He was in contact with white supremacists that's in the FBI. This ain't FBI crime stat. Tell me you can look up. If you look at the FBI crime stats, the leading people in the FBI top criminals are whites and Latinos. With a few Asians. Not one of them are black. I'm going to have to pull it up and show you that. Certainly there is an epidemic of violence that is killing young black men in disproportionate high numbers. I know this because there have been almost daily news stories document Chicago's heartbreak. What I haven't read is anything on Masters. What I have not read is anything on how Masters would fix it. When pressed for an answer on how he would curtail. When pressed for an answer on how would he curtail the gun violence, when pressed for an answer on how he would curtail gun violence, Master Campaign sent me another statement saying he would crack down on crime, go after the gangs, and build a culture and economic where families thrive. This is him trying to win votes. This is same credit they say when trying to win votes. Gangs, okay, that means why don't you go after the white supremacy gang? Why don't you go after the Proud Boys, which is more like a damn militia than anything. He offers no acknowledgement that our gun violence problem extends beyond black people in the streets of Chicago. There's also reached inside a school in Uvalde, Texas, and a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, and into far too many cities to count all across America. The problem is guns plain and simple. The problem with guns plain and simple. If you look, I'm reading an article. In this article, it had chapters of different sections that's broken down. It isn't video games that are to blame, or a lack of prayer in the school, or a lack of prayer in school, or broken families, or poor mental health, or a particular race of people, or a country similar to ours. We have all those things, yet somehow managed to get their children through the 4th grade without having to bury them. And before you go there, doors are not to blame either, or unarmed teachers and grocery shoppers. It's the guns, Mr. Masters. I kind of disagree that I'm telling like this. No, it is a particular group of people. You got white teens who can't control their emotions who get mad up schools. That has always been the case. Gang violence, a lot of it is not gang violence. A lot of those is individuals. They can't tell you what particular gang. Okay, you want to Crips and Bloods, you can crack all them easily. But it's not doing it. Talking mental health. No, y'all use that mental health every time they get in court. Broken families, yes, really, because the guy who shot up that school in Texas came out of a broken home. Video games, not so much, because I play video games all the time. But now that white supremacist grown man who's 18 who made like a video game, yes, he tried to make everything into a video game. Video games ain't the problem. His perception of reality is a problem, which is he just a white supremacist scared of being wiped out. And you know, white people have always been a small number in America. They are being used by people of being used by people of every color, race, and religion. by gang members on the streets of Chicago and by mental disturbed teens who all too often legally buy and then gleefully employ their weapons of mass destruction. To see these throughout the prism of race is a narrow view that misses, perhaps intentionally, and then the bigger picture.
Intentionally.
To see this through the prism of race is a narrow view that misses, perhaps intensely, the bigger picture. And what do we get when we look to our leaders for leadership? We look to them to do something to at least try to slow. When we look to them to do something to at least try to slow on our ongoing, never-ending national tragedy, all we get from Republicans are a lecture about their Second Amendment rights, the usual excuse for why nothing can't be done, and now an explanation from the man who wants to be our next senator that America's gun problem is really black people. Because most senators are racist. Well, that's the end of the article. And that's what the guy said. This is that Republicans want to protect their Second Amendment rights, the right to bear arms. We're no longer in the 1776 century. We're not in the 1700s anymore. The right to bear arms is ridiculous. Why do you think in Korea, Japan, most Asian countries, they don't have death by guns? Because only law officials are allowed to carry guns. And a lot of times, the law officials, the police officers, they don't really carry guns. They have the guns locked up. Like Korea, they have their guns locked up in the station. They don't use those. They don't even take the firearm home. They have them locked in the station. To find a gun in an Asian country is freaking hard as hell. Unless you go to a police station. In Japan, I think, let's see, y'all have like it's almost like a telephone cord that's that's tied to their belt. It's like connected to the belt and connected into the butt of the gun. Is built into there. So if you can try to take an officer's gun and shoot an officer in Japan, you have to take his belt to get the gun because it's connected to there. So it's hard to get it off. And not everybody there can legally own guns. Only law and military personnel can own guns in most Asian countries. If I'm right about this, let's go ahead and comment below. Because this guy is completely ridiculous. So y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. So comment, like, and subscribe to the channel for more. I'd like to direct your attention to the FBI Most Wanted list. The most wanted fugitives on FBI watch list. Here we are, Mexican and whites. That's it. Some of the guys, like, they in their teens. I mean, he really looks young. He could be an old picture, and I think he's a white Hispanic. Here's a white male. Looks like they're mostly Hispanic men up here. And they got at least like 2 whites. So out of 10, 3 whites and 7 Hispanic men. Yeah, and if black people this dangerous, they'll be on the FBI wanted list. I'm pretty sure they are, but he said these are the most wanted ones. the top ones. See, 10 most wanted fugitives. And then one of them black. That's all I want y'all to see. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit on the notification bell. Click on the notification bell. And when it drop down, click on all. Like the video and share the video and leave a comment below.